In this chapter, the co-creation of value is to empower guests to create their experience. By training your service personnel to coach, monitor, and supervise the co-production of guests, and hire people who enjoy this kind of activity, you may also train your guests to participate before you let them do so. Motivate guests who derive value and quality from participation to co-produce so that it will encourage guests to help monitor the service behavior of your employees. Structure guest experiences in ways that encourage other guests to train your guests. Provide pre-show videos or otherwise prepare your guests to engage in the experience. The more guests do for themselves, the less you have to do for them. That is why guest involvement can improve efficiency and capacity utilization, especially at peak demand times. After reading this chapter, you should understand how, when, and why hospitality organizations encourage or empower guests to help provide their own guest experiences. Which strategies most effectively involve the guest in co-creating the experience? What the advantages and disadvantages of guest involvement are for the organization and guest. Why hospitality organizations must sometimes fire the guest and how to do it. The guest-centric view is that the guestologist seeks to identify what the customers want and involves them in the co-creation of the experience, before, during, or after the actual experience itself. Guest involvement leads to their co-creating the value and quality of that experience. Organizations need to design a service product, an environment, and a delivery system that match the KSAs the customers bring to the experience. It may also mean that companies need to train the customers on how to take advantage of the service product. Example: airline passengers don't help fly the plane, although they may be asked to make sure they pick up their trash so that the plane can be prepared for its next flight more quickly. Hotel might provide self-service check-in kiosks to encourage its guests to avoid waiting for an available front desk agent, or an airline might require self-check-ins with a kiosk assistant available only to help when guests have computer problems. A guest can be involved with a hospitality organization in several ways: as a consultant or source of expertise and quality information, as a marketer, as part of the environment for other guests, as co-producer of the experience, or as a manager of the service providers and systems. First strategy is, guests as unpaid consultants. When the organization asks its guests what they like or dislike about the guest experience, they become unpaid consultants and act as quality control inspectors. Since their input regarding their experiences will become part of the information that management uses to review and adjust the service product, environment, and delivery system, the guests are acting as expert consultants in giving this important feedback to the organization. Using outsiders in this way is not unique to hospitality firms. Many other types of organizations systematically invite their suppliers, customers, and even communities to provide feedback about how they are doing. Second, guests as marketer. Guests are excellent marketers for good or bad service. They are asked by their friends and acquaintances for their opinion in both face-to-face communications and through web-based social networking media, and this word of mouth can make or break a hospitality organization. Recognizing the power of this marketing medium, the customer, especially when the service experience is bad, is an important part of the manager's responsibility on fixing service failures. The communications technology used today in combination with the existing social networking sites offer amazing opportunities to use guests as active marketers for a wide variety of organizations. Third is, guests as part of each other's experience. This principle of encouraging customers to be either directly or indirectly part of other guests' experiences is evident in new web sharing technologies, for example, video clips on YouTube, but it has been a practice in hospitality for quite a while. For example, at one of Coney Island's earliest amusement parks, Steeplechase, there was a stadium set up next to a rotating barrel of love so that the customers could watch others fall down in a tangle with complete strangers and look foolish. For them, the opportunity to watch other people falling down awkwardly was an important part of the amusement experience. For guests as co-producers. During all or parts of the service experience, they can actually become participants in the production and delivery system. This participation can be as simple as having guests serve themselves at a fast food restaurant, preparing their own salads at the salad bar, or carrying their own bags at the golf course to substitute for the job of a paid employee. While this may be a more costly strategy under some circumstances, in general, every time guests co-produce at least some of their own experiences, they are replacing some or all of the labor that the organization would otherwise have to pay to do the same thing, while often improving the quality and value of their own experience. The organization will want to look closely at the costs it will incur, the costs of extra training or more elaborate skill requirements for employees, extra or simpler equipment necessary for guest use, and extra effort to lay out the service delivery system in a way that is user-friendly. In essence, these are the costs of training a guest to be a quasi-employee. There are two strategies that are available in contemplating how to gain the advantages of using guest participation while not incurring the disadvantages. First, they can let customers in their targeted market segment know that everyone entering the service setting must provide some of the service themselves. The second strategy is to segment the service process so that guests entering the service setting can choose to participate or not.